In today's video, we're going to talk about what stocks have not done since the dot-com bubble burst. But first, notice today the S&P 500 making another new all-time high. So that stat that I shared with you guys yesterday showing you guys that the Wednesday after President's Day, only a 40% chance of the market being up. Well, I guess today fell within that 40% guideline. Now, when we come over and look at how the indices fared across the board, the Dow was up 11 points. The NASDAQ was down 5.4 points. S&P 500 was up 9.15 points, and the Russell 2000 was down 0.8. Now, look at advancing issues versus declining. We had 51.6% of issues declining on the day. Then we come over and we look at the sectors across the board. Look at basic materials, absolutely getting slaughtered out there. Healthcare, consumer defensives, and utilities were by far outpacing everything else. Now, we come over and look at the dollar index today. Dollar index slightly green on the session. Then we come over and take a look at the precious metal gold, trying to make another new all-time high. However, just fell a bit short. Now, we look at this article right here. The biggest U.S. stocks haven't been this expensive since the dot-com era. And we know what happens during the dot-com bubble burst. The NASDAQ dropped over 70% from high all the way down to the low. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur again, but one thing that we could pick out very clearly is we've been seeing a lot more times where the VIX keeps trying to spike on up. Today, the VIX was down, but a majority of the day, we actually saw the VIX in the green. And to start the morning off, the VIX was rocketing up out of the gate. Now, today we had the FOMC minutes come out. And what do we learn? Fed officials are worried about inflation sparked by Trump's tariffs and economic plans. They're trying to make the orange man take the fall once again. Now, let me know in the comment section down below, do you think that if inflation spikes back, it's actually Trump's fault? Or is there somebody else to blame? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, as we come over and look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you can see right now we've been stuck in this triangle. Will we be able to get a breakout maybe even as soon as tomorrow? Then we come over and look at the Russell 2000, which was down slightly today, basically stuck in this consolidation. And we look at the economic calendar for tomorrow. What is on deck? 8:30 a.m. We have the weekly unemployment claims. We also have the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. And then we have a few FOMC members speaking throughout the day. So not only do we have to worry about the planned economic news, but we also got to be alert for any headline news articles that could hit the tape out here tomorrow. Now, we come over real quick, take a look at the SPY SPY. Like we said at the beginning of this video, making another new all-time high, not only intraday, but also closing new all-time high. Now, we do have two ABC patterns up here. 616.12 is going to be the first target area. The second target area is going to be 626.15. And notice the MACD indicator does have a bullish cross at this moment. Right now, MACD is higher than where it was over here, but if we look a little bit further left, notice how high MACD was over in this area, this previous all-time high. MACD right now is not at those levels, but it very well could be there in the very near future. We come over, look at the 4-hour chart. Really not a whole lot to see on that chart. 30-minute chart, you can see the huge MACD divergence we have playing out. And on the 30-minute chart, look at the profile today. We have a lot of volume being built out up at these upper levels. Now, something we do want to keep on our radar is going to be these minus development areas. And notice, after the bell, what do we see? We actually see the SPY is actually down 0.14%. Now, the next area to watch is going to be this next minus development area, about 611.37. Now, will we continue to push up towards those ABC targets, or is the market about to take a break? Now, when we come over and look at the 4-hour chart, I want you guys to pay very close attention to this. This is for the S&P futures markets. Notice we've had this push up. We've had this upper level consolidation, and now how are we closing out this last 4-hour candle? A big, nasty looking shooting star candle. And where this candle is actually formed is actually also bearish. So we have location, we have the candle. The next thing we need to see is, do we get confirmation of this bearish candle? We go ahead and we look down below us. Keep in mind, we still have not hit the last week's value area high, which is a high probability target for either this week or next week, which we've been talking about quite a bit during the live streams. If you don't want to miss the next time I go live, make sure you're subscribed and you have the bell notifications turned on for all. But if we look at the low out here, we can see we've made it as low as 61.18 not quite low enough to hit that untested value area high. Now, as we come over and start looking at the daily profiles real quick, notice we basically have a well-defined profile. We have quite a few different distribution areas of this profile. Now, value area high is going to come in about 6165.00. The point of control is going to come in about 6161.50 with value area low coming in down here about 6141.00. Now notice we are right now, right kind of in this minus development area. Couple areas I want to watch tonight if we continue to sell off. Watch this next minus development area about 6147. Now I would prefer, if I want to be on the sell side, see if we can push up above the highs from today and then potentially come back a little bit lower. One of the trades that we took this morning on the live stream was when the market came back, basically trying to break above the overnight value area low, I wanted to target right here near this minus development area. And look, that's exactly where the market came to and then came on the way back lower. I want to remind you guys right now, Apex having an 80% sale off all their valuation accounts, passing as little as 1 day, and this sale ends in 7 hours. If you want to take advantage of this offer, use the link in the description box down below. Use promo code Mike at checkout. Now, as we come over and look at the QQQs real quick, start off on the daily chart. Yesterday, we had a hammer candle, which is very similar to a hanging man candle. However, we did not get the confirmation. We need to break below the low of that candle to get the bearish signal of the hanging man candle. So today, we basically went up a little bit, went down a little bit. We have a wick on top and on the bottom of these candles. Keep in mind, the NASDAQ has two ABC pattern targets up here about 543.13 and about 543.93. So we're not that far away. It's not that far fetched to think the NASDAQ could again make another new all-time high. Now today, the NASDAQ did make an intraday new all-time high. However, it was not a closing all-time high. On the 4-hour chart, what do we see? A big push up, kind of this consolidation. And one thing to note, we had this A to B equals C to D pattern on the 4-hour chart. And notice right up here, we are almost there. 542.94 would complete the ABC target on the 4-hour chart. Then as we dive down, start looking at the 30-minute chart, notice we've had a lot of consolidation. We keep grinding up a little bit higher. MACD indicator, I got to warn you guys, does look sick at this moment. Now notice, we closed right near the point of control. Then after hours, we are a slight bit lower. The range today was a little bit larger than the range of the prior day. Prior day's range was a little bit larger than the prior day's range as well. So we'll see. Will tomorrow's economic news at 8:30 be enough to shake up the market? Now, as we come over real quick and we look at the NASDAQ futures real quick, 4-hour chart, we've had that push up. And so far for this week, we are halfway done with the week. We have a well-defined D as in dog shape profile and something that's very suspicious. Notice the whole entire weekly range is only 217 points. Now you might say, Mike, what's so strange about this? If I bring over my watch list, look at the NQ. The NQ, the average 14-day range is 327 points. So now we've had 2 full days of trading and really a half a day trading on Monday, and we have not even been able to move the average daily range, which means the market is getting ready for another big move. So be on the lookout. We want to make sure we are on the right side of this potential trade. Keep in mind the weekly untested value area high still has not been hit, 22,008.50. Now, as we come over and start looking at the daily profiles real quick, and you can see that today was really nothing more than an inside day. Look at the low today, slightly higher than the low from the prior day. Notice the high, slightly lower than the high that we had from the prior day. So anytime we get an inside day, what do we expect? Either a breakout or breakdown from this pattern. And the first way that we normally break ends up being nothing more than a trap. Now, when I go ahead and remove the drawings off my chart real quick, I want you guys to pay close attention. Value area high is going to be up here about 22,281.25. The point of control is going to be about 22,216.75 with value area low being 22,193.25. So tonight, if you see the market breaking below value area low and then it turns and goes back up, then we can look to target the point of control. We can then look to target value area high. We can then look to target the highs from the prior day. Then anything else, we want to go ahead and see, can the market continue to push on up? See if we can break this upper level consolidation and take another leg higher and see if the NASDAQ futures can also come all the way back up here, potentially making a new all-time high. Yes, the cash market has made a new all-time high. The QQQs, ETF for the NASDAQ has made new all-time highs, but so far the NASDAQ futures has not been able to do so. Now, if you want to learn about when you can take withdrawals from Take Profit Trader, then you want to make sure to check out this next video right here.